What is up, everybody? So there's been a bit of back and forth over the last day or so between Jerry Buting, Ken Kratz, and a lot of the people over on the X platform that know a lot about the Making a Murderer case. I like to do these videos because not everybody that watches this channel has the X platform, and a lot of you have no interest in getting the X platform, so I like to bring everything over here from time to time so that all of you guys can keep up with everything that is going on. I will link everybody's accounts in the description below, so if you want, you can go give them a follow if you want to keep up to date with everything that is going on over there. The first one I'm going to bring up is really funny to me because it's something I said when I was reading Jerry Buting's book. Because of what I do in real life, this particular part of Jerry Buting's book made me pop really hard. As I say that, I realize some of you may or may not know what that means. It's a term that is used in my industry all of the time. It just means it made you react. It got a reaction out of you. It made you go, oh my God, like that type of thing. It's when Jerry Buting talked about wanting to fight Ken Kratz or punch him or knock him out or whatever it was in the judge's chambers. Jerry talks about that in his book, and when I read that, because of what I did in real life, I ran to Twitter, I think it was still Twitter at the time, posted about it, he reacted to it, and it was great. And every now and again, he will post something about it and tag me in it. And he follows the wrestling account at New Scott, which is totally fine. I don't care. You can tag at New Scott in whatever you want. I will generally respond to under the allegedly a show account, just because I like to keep everything separate. The at New Scott account is where I post everything that I do for my regular business, for shows I promote, for wrestling shows I promote. And you can tag New Scott in whatever you want. It's when people, like, I'm promoting a show and someone will comment underneath it, what about this murder? And the people and the sponsors and the wrestlers and everybody else involved have absolutely no idea about any of it. So I just like to keep it separate. But go bananas. You can tag New Scott in whatever you want. I'll just generally respond under the other account in an attempt to keep things organized. But here is what Jerry Buting put out there. This isn't in order. I'm going to go through it in order again, but I just want to put this one at the top of the video. A one-on-one Buting-Kratz showdown. Yeah, we could sell tickets for this on pay-per-view. Wait, that's what he needs for income these days. Never mind. At New Scott, that's me. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then Ken Kratz responded with, at J Buting, it's not so fun when the rabbit's got the gun. I would love to ask you a few questions publicly and get some answers. I know you wiped the floor with me in court and got to launch your world speaking tour touting your amazing work on the case. Wait, that is what happened? Question mark. Hashtag best lawyer ever. Of course, Ken Kratz taking jabs at Jerry Buting because Ken Kratz won the case in court. So let's go over to Ken Kratz's profile here and let's look at some of the things that he has gone back and forth recently with people in the case. Since attorney Judge Bolgert had the GA report, it's certainly not a Brady violation, so why did Jerry bring it up as one? This is from at case 10. Ken Kratz responded with, making a murderer made a huge point to suggest that the report was not given to the defense. Risa made it clear that she never got the report, pretending it was withheld. Bolgert did get it. Was that uncomfortable truth ever discussed? Spoiler, Making a Murderer filmmakers often sometimes presented the technically true comment like Risa never got the report sent to her, but intentionally failed to explain that the actual trial defense attorney, Bolgert, did. Why has nobody asked these questions? Because the obvious answers look sketchy as hell, and after all, Gregory Allen assaulted PB for sure, right? The whole reason Making a Murderer had Griesbach on it is so he can advance his theory that Dennis Vogel, the DA at the time, withheld clearly exculpatory evidence from the defense. If so, Griesbach knows the defense got the report. Why would he help the exoneration crew by saying it was withheld in Making a Murderer? Maybe he's never had the chance to correct the incredible attempt at deception on that huge point by the filmmakers, unless, of course, the intentional deception was agreed to beforehand. I guess that's what hearings are for, to require both sides publicly to require both sides publicly explain why they are doing something like reopening and dismissing the Avery charges without any hearing. ROH, RER, and Griesbach made these decisions in total darkness. As long as we are all asking stuff, I'd love to hear answers as to why no hearing was held. I have at least a dozen relevant questions that could have been asked to the District Attorney's Office, the Crime Lab, the Innocent Project, directors, and the cops. Asking for a friend. Hashtag trust us. Hashtag nothing to see here. And then he responds to another question. I'm not entirely sure which one he's responding to, but he states, "Not sure this is helpful, as this is a never-ending circular argument. Who do you think drafted search warrants in the Avery case that were presented to the judge? I can assure you I had no intent of misleading anyone. The only search warrant that I recall pausing was that on March 1st. Uyghur realized the new info he got from Brendan Dassey needed to be included in a new warrant. We were obligated to provide the most up-to-date info in each new application for the warrants. No court has ruled against any of our search warrants. We were careful to refresh them as time passed." Not sure that helps. And then he talks about, there's a question here from Duke11. How the hell did everyone sifting through the burn pit on the 8th miss the item BZ? Ken Kratz states, I just addressed the problem with the question asked in the YouTube comments. I don't know if he means a question on my channel or if he means one on his own channel. He has opened a YouTube channel. I think the channel was around for a while, but he just posted a video to it the other day. There's one of me and several of you. I'm doing my best, but I'm limited to decisions I made. The photograph of the burn pit or failure to is not going to be my wheelhouse. I guess he means that someone else did it or didn't do it. So are you, and then Duke 11 is back, so are you just going to keep avoiding the bloody blunt object found in the RAV? Yes, Ken Kratz replies with, ask a different question. Why do you think he won't answer anything to do with the bloody blunt object that was found in the RAV4? He does answer a lot of questions, but then there's other ones he just ignores. Why? And there's another one coming up here. Why do you think that is? Why wouldn't he just be like, hey, this is the reason, or whatever, answer the question about the object that was found in the back of the RAV4? Wouldn't you? What would be the harm in if there is, and there very well could be, I don't know, what would be the harm in answering the question about that object? Jerry Buting pops back up in here and states, that's what happens in all these Brady cases. New people take over, and what was supposed to be hidden, they accidentally release. Exonerated cases are repellent with examples. Even Avery's first wrongful conviction, the LE report about the real perp, was found in a DA file years later. So Jerry Buting answers that question, and Ken Kratz replies with, I love this story. Wasn't that the same report also found in the defense attorney's file? Each of you has taken credit, and he tags Jerry Buting, allegedly a show, and hashtag Kathleen Zellner, because Kathleen Zellner has him blocked. Each of you has taken credit for looking for what actually happened. Is a slippery slope for the exoneration. Actual innocence is a slippery slope for the exoneration crowd. They pretend to seek the truth, or if seeking money damages will conflate justice with the truth. So what does that mean? Well, this is a perfect opportunity for these straight shooters to admit. I wonder if he's including me in all that, just because he tagged me, Buting, and hashtag Kathleen Zellner. Defense attorney Jim Bolgart was in possession of the famous Gregory Allen documents that ADA Mike Griesbach obsessed over. 2. No claim was made against Bolgart for ineffective assistance of counsel for failure to follow up on Gregory Allen as an alternative suspect. Those 2 admissions will go a long way to putting what happened in the 1985 case into sharper and more accurate focus. You know, like when you claim actual innocence, you should have to answer questions about what happened. These are the kind of questions Jerry Buting might be asked in a debate. I'm sure he's fluent in "that means Gregory Allen did it" doublespeak. Miss me yet? So I could be way off base here, but my interpretation of the last couple of posts by Ken Kratz there is he suggesting, and like I said, I could be way off, and this is just my interpretation, is he suggesting that Gregory Allen might not actually be the person that did the attack that Stephen Avery was falsely imprisoned for in 1985? Is he alluding to the fact that it could be Stephen Avery or maybe somebody else that did it? My impression from reading that is that he possibly thinks Gregory Allen didn't do it. That could just be my interpretation of it. What is your interpretation of it? I would love to see if maybe I'm just reading into it wrong, or if that's the feeling you got from those messages as well. TikTok Manitowoc, who is at Team Manitowoc, states, "Only Kratz Uncancelled could tell the media outlet that mistakes were made and point his fingers at everyone else, refusing to take any of the responsibility for mistakes upon himself." TikTok Manitowoc is, of course, talking about an interview that the Wisconsin Law Journal posted the other day. It's a very excellent read. I'll link it in the description below if you want to go have a read for yourself. Two men's lives were uprooted for mistakes, and if the DA admits it, the court must give relief. Ken Kratz replies with, "Okay, I'll finally bite because I am sick of watching you rant your frail self to death. Yes, there were mistakes made. By whom? By everyone involved. Please note, both Jerry Buting, aka best lawyer ever, and Dean Strang admitted that they made mistakes. What's the point of all this hyperventilating? I was asked by a media member to comment on the VLCD, the lab contamination, and the zipper voicemail. To the best of my ability, I tried to explain what I understood happened with each." Here's the deceptive part. After each explanation, I emphasized that none of these supposed mistakes factored into any conviction of either defendant, in my opinion. The missing evidence would likely not be relevant at trial, not just earth-shattering, not admissible. Let me make this as clear as I can. I did not throw cops or prosecutors under any bus. Tom Fassbender recently echoed my opinion. The investigation and prosecution teams we managed were some of the finest we've ever seen. Like Tom, I remain proud of the hard work and furtherance of justice this case produced, and especially recognize the men and women of the Wisconsin law enforcement who not only did a hell of a job, but who have since been required to endure relentless scrutiny like no other case. And that looks like it's the last one he responded to. Oh no, sorry, there is one more, and it was just before the one I opened up the video with. Would the rules of a debate apply to Jerry Buting? From my recollection of the actual history of the case, Buting almost created a mistrial in his closing, spewing out the accusation that maybe Bobby killed Teresa Halbach. His excuse, "I got carried away." Buting and his team, which obviously included the Making a Murderer filmmakers, were told in no uncertain terms that they would not be allowed to get a in-custody interview with Stephen Avery during deliberations. Not only is that incredibly exploitive on a human level, it is no way part of the defense attorney's job, yet the rules don't apply to Jerry Buting. He sneaks a camera into the jail and films the interview himself. His excuse on Dr. Phil, he denied it ever happened. Just two examples that rules don't apply to Buting. Maybe other examples of his contempt for the process won't be raised. Buting will never debate me. How can he make up defamatory lies about the cops planting blood when his hole in the vile bombshell making a murder claim is shown for what it is? More intentional lies from best lawyer ever. And that's what brought up the tweet I opened up the video with, a one-on-one Buting Kratz showdown. Yeah, that could sell tickets for pay-per-view. That's what he needs for income. Wait, that's what he needs for income these days? Never mind. So that's where I'm going to leave this video off. I will continue to do these from time to time once there's enough to actually go over, but a lot happened yesterday over there on X, and I wanted to bring it to you. I have a very big show this weekend. Ton of tickets sold. We broke our record from last spring, so It's going to be a fun time. I hope everybody out there has a tremendous weekend. Let me know what you think. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.